Hey, all you ghoulish gourmets, and guess what we're making today, in case you didn't figure it out? We are making Chili Necronomicon Carne today. And this is taken from the lovely book that Candace and Chris sent to me, Death for Dinner by Zach Neal. Be sure to pick yours up today. Lots of cool recipes for, people that like to be in the kitchen a lot, people that like to do a lot of vegan cooking, because a lot of this stuff is vegan based. But never fear, if you're still a meat eater, you can adapt these things to your meat eating taste. So that's Death for Dinner by Zach Neal. Uh, and I just got to show you this display that he has for the Chili Necronomicon Carne. Now, mine's not going to be that elaborate today. I do have a skull bowl that looks similar to that, but I don't have the eyeballs peeking out there. Uh, we are also going to have totally 80s cheese sauce, which I'm going to tell you how to make that real quick as well. I have already made mine. Um, in fact, we will show you the fruits of my labor here. If I remember to turn on the haunted food cam, right? There we go. And let's make this the solo layout. You can see I've got my Instapot inner liner there, ready to put some goodies in here. But here is our totally 80s cheese sauce. Now, I must admit that this was not that orange when I made it. I got the idea to put a little neon orange food coloring into this to make it a little more orangey and make it look a little bit more like nacho cheese. But we're going to set that aside for now, and we're going to exit solo layout for a second. I'm trying this more wide angle view of myself, so let me know if it makes anybody sick or makes things look weird, and I'll change it back to the other way it was before. So I'm not sure how many people, I'm seeing it go back and forth from 0 to 1, but I've learned over time that you can't really trust that that's showing you how many people are in here, because if YouTube has problems or StreamYard has problems, or they have problems interacting with each other, sometimes we have issues. Now, to make the totally 80s cheese sauce, just 1 second here. I'm going to show you what you need for this. So you need 1 13 and a half, or actually you're going to be using a half a 13 and a half ounce can of coconut milk. Now, I'm not saying that you got to get expensive with this stuff, okay? I just used Kroger light coconut milk, okay? So you can pick your favorite coconut milk, or you can just close your eyes and pick one, I guess. I don't know if that would be wise or not, but so you can get any kind of coconut milk you want. You also need 5 slices of American cheese. Now, they say vegan, but if you're not vegan, and I'm not vegan, although I probably should be, I just got some Kroger brand American cheese. So you can get whatever American cheese you want. You're going to need 5 slices of that American cheese. You're also going to need a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Now, I've never gotten nutritional yeast before. I'll be totally honest. I probably don't eat as healthy as I should. But this is, what is this? Bob's Red Meal Large Flake Nutritional Yeast. And this stuff ain't cheap, folks. I can guarantee you that. I think this cost me about $5 or $6 for this little bag. But I'm not planning on using it very much. But there are different brands of it. You find whichever brand that you would prefer. Okay. Um, Also, we need a half teaspoon of sea salt. And I just used my Morton iodized sea salt because if y'all remember a while back, I was having some health issues, and I think it was due to me not eating salt with iodide in it. Okay, you also need a pinch of mustard powder. I think I've got this over here because I'm going to be using it in the chili con carne here shortly. I hope I haven't screwed anything up and people can't see me or something. Because I was playing my schedule before I came on, and I actually went live a few minutes early. Maybe I can have Steve actually check. Well, maybe you can. I was checking. I want you to check and see if I was actually live or not, because I don't. I'm not showing anybody in here. Because somebody came in and out of there. But I'm going to continue so I don't waste time. My birds are being loud over there. Okay. So I have ground mustard here. This is just the Kroger brand that you can get, or you can get your favorites. Um, any kind of ground mustard. I need to put this back over here, Dave. I get turned around in my own kitchen. You also need a fourth of a teaspoon of agave syrup. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I think I left that over here. So, did you see me? Okay. I guess maybe nobody wants to be in here with me. Maybe. But this is organic agave in the raw syrup. It's a lot like corn syrup or something like that, only it's supposedly supposed to be healthier for you. These recipes in this book, hey, Blissful. Now I know somebody's in there. Um, but agave syrup is something that's used in a lot of these recipes in this book. We also need a fourth of a teaspoon of chili powder. And Steve had gotten this, I think he got it from Amazon. It's Happy Belly ground chipotle chili powder. So I'm using that today. You also need, and this stuff ain't cheap, folks, either, but it's you need a fourth of a cup of Wandra, and this is gold medal Wandra quick mixing flour, and that helps thicken up your cheese sauce. Okay? All right. So what you need to do in a medium saucepan. Oh, thank you, Blissful. In a medium saucepan, you combine the coconut milk, the cheese slices, the nutritional yeast, the sea salt, the mustard powder, agave, and chili powder over a medium heat. You whisk it vigorously until melted and smooth. Just don't be messy like I am and slop it all over the place. Then you mix in your Wandra flour to the desired thickness. And I used all 1/4 of a cup to get my desired thickness. Then you can pour the cheese sauce into a bowl or a gravy boat or directly onto whatever you're wanting to eat it with. Okay. If you use it later, you may want to stick it in the microwave for, a minute or so to let it heat back up. You say that whisking account, is that like a arm exercise? You also want to, if you don't use it all at one time, refrigerate in an airtight container for up to 1 week. Don't keep it any longer than a week, guys and gals. Reheat in the microwave or on the stovetop if you choose. Okay, so that's how to make the totally 80s cheese sauce, which I made in advance. Now, To get back to the Chili Necronomicon Carne, you're always looking for a loophole. I am too, to be honest, Blissful. Um, so we're going to need, now what I used for this is I used all three of my cans of tomatoes are fire roasted tomatoes, but you do whatever suits you. So they call for 2 14.5 ounce canned stewed tomatoes. Okay. So again, I got all Hunt's fire roasted diced tomatoes because I love these. These are about the best tomatoes in a can I've ever seen. They also call for 1 14.5 ounce can of zesty chili style tomatoes, such as Del Monte. Del Monte. You're also going to need a 10 ounce can. This is Rotel original diced tomatoes and green chilies. That always sounds good. You're going to need a large bell pepper, roughly chopped, which I already had mine. What did I do with it here? There we go. So this is my bell pepper that I have roughly chopped in advance, so we would have that ready to go. You also need a medium red onion. Be sure to have your tissues handy because these things will make you cry. I ain't kidding you. So I have already diced up my red onion and we're ready to go with that as well. So I'm going to set that right back there. We're going to also need 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Again, I'm using this that Steve got, the Happy Belly ground chipotle chili powder. We're going to need a teaspoon of ground cumin. Okay. And I'm going to have to get some more cumin here soon. As you can see, I'm getting kind of down to the bottom of the container there. This is Simple Truth organic cumin. You can get whatever brand that you like. That's something that we can get at Kroger. Okay, you need a half a teaspoon of ground mustard, and I'm going to have to let Reg in here in just 1 second. So again, I have the Kroger brand ground mustard. We also need 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning. So be sure to pick up whatever your favorite Cajun seasoning is. This is a brand. I don't even think they have this brand at Kroger anymore. And I know, you're supposed to keep your spice rack fresh. The spice is fresh in there. But yeah, that's kind of a no-no what I did there. But you also need a teaspoon of white pepper. And thankfully, I already had some McCormick organic ground white pepper. Um, you also need a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Again, I have some Kroger ground cayenne red pepper. We're going to need 3 tablespoons of agave syrup. And again, we've got this organic agave in the raw to use, right? We're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. Again, I've got my Morton iodized sea salt. You would use whatever sea salt that you like or whatever you got in the house. We also need 1 15-ounce can of black beans. Okay, I've got my Kroger brand black beans here. And we also need 1 15-ounce can of kidney beans, almost said chili beans. And I get the dark red kind when I'm making these horror recipes just because I think it looks cool. Blissful, you say my cousin will want to make this. He likes spicy chili. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty spicy. Also, you need 1 15-ounce can of whole kernel corn, and I've got Kroger brand super sweet golden corn. It's whole kernel. You need to drain that, though, before you use it. I've already drained mine. And evil bread is something that is also a recipe in this book. And you can do that, but I opted not to do that this time to bake it. I will bake it at a later time. But you can have that for serving with your chili con carne. You can have finely chopped onion to put on top. You can have sour cream, which I bought some sour cream actually. This is just Kroger sour cream original. Nothing special there, just sour cream. Okay. And the totally 80s cheese sauce, which I showed a little bit earlier and told y'all briefly how to make that. Hey, Chris. I'm glad to see I've got some people in here now, and I haven't even got started cooking. So, what we're going to do, this is vegan chili con carne, folks. But me being the meat eater that I am, I'm going to add a little something extra to this. I don't know what happened to my camera. Just there it kind of froze. Uh, I'm not sure what it's doing there. Okay. Let me see if I can do this again here. Maybe not be so fast. Um, this is just ground chuck. Ground chuck was on sale. If ground beef happens to be on sale at your supermarket, then by all means you can pick up ground beef. You can pick up ground chuck or ground beef, regardless of the price, if you want to. Okay. So what I'm going to do, since I'm making a slight deviation from this recipe, because me being the meat eater I am, I like to cook my onions and my pepper with my ground beef, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this ground beef in the inner pot for our Instant Pot, right, or our liner. And then I'm going to try to clean up as I go along. We're going to actually uh, try to break this ground beef up a little bit before we start cooking it, right? And I know you guys aren't going to be able to see this actually cooking or sauteing in this, but I hope you guys and gals will forgive me that I don't have a multiple camera setup. You know, I've got the camera on the tablet. I've got my phone using it as a camera here over the sink here. But that's the only setup I got. I don't have a whole camera crew, sadly. And like I told Steve, I don't think we could fit a whole camera crew in here in our kitchen anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put that green bell pepper in there. And I'm also going to go ahead and dump my onions in there. Clean hands when you're in the kitchen, right? Because you might have to do what I just did. Now we're going to mix that up a little bit together. Okay. You just get that ground beef or ground chuck and the onions and the peppers all mixed together. Okay. So this is where you're not going to be able to see, sadly. And so I'm going to move things around just a tad here. Because I'm going to have to pull my Instapot forward here, so I'm going to have to move the tablet. So don't y'all get dizzy here while I do that. Try to be as careful. Chris, good question. You can put corn chips in this. You most certainly can. Now, I don't have corn chips because sadly I forgot, but that is definitely something that you could put in there, right? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is I am going to bring, and I know you're not going to be able to see this. You can see me putting it in here. And you may be able to hear this sizzling as I start sauteing it. So I want to turn it on saute. And, you just want to, keep breaking up the ground beef as it cooks. And you want to get it good and brown, right? Because we don't want anybody getting sick. And that make sure the peppers and the onions get all soft and the onions get kind of translucent. Um, yeah, you could definitely put corn chips as a topping on this. You could use tortilla chips if you wanted. Heck, you could probably use any kind of chips you wanted in this. So I'm going to break this ground beef up a little bit more, and then I'm going to let it start cooking. And I'm going to step away for a second to let Reggie in, and he's probably going to go crazy when he smells this. But I will be right back. We'll get the chili con carne, all right? Chris, you say making me hungry. Good thing Candace is on her way to Arby's for us. Yeah, me and Steve went out to the Mexican restaurant earlier, and I got a raspberry margarita, frozen, and some tortillas, chicken tortilla soup. Plenty more. So hopefully, even though y'all can't see this actually cooking, um, no, I might. Yeah, I don't think I can. I was gonna say if it wasn't so close to the cabinets, I could swing that arm out over this way, but I'm afraid that, we might have a major snafu and my phone might get broken if I do that. So we won't do that. Chris, you say it sounds delicious. Yeah, so I'm going to have plenty to eat. Steve actually says that, because I had some of that chicken tortilla soup left over, and I'm making this, and I've got some other ingredients to make some vegetable soup for later in the week. But I think Steve's going to actually fry this chili con carne. At least I hope he does anyway. This is smelling really good already, guys and guys. I love the smell of meat cooking with peppers and onions. I just love the smell of food, period. That's probably why I got a little more weight on me. I like Arby's curly fries. I guess they still got curly fries, and I also like their select chicken sandwiches. But y'all can feel free to ask me questions as I'm cooking this up. Hopefully, it won't take too awfully long for us to do that. And I know it's a good practice to drain the ground beef, but if I don't have a lot of grease in here, I may just leave it. Now, if you had like a whole bunch of grease, I would definitely recommend draining some of that off. But sometimes with ground chuck, you get lucky. You don't have a lot of grease with that. Chris, you say you do get curly fries sometimes, but you ask for a side cup of cheese with them. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I'm a big cheese eater of all kinds. I love cheese. So, for those of you that are in here, um, you know that I may have to take a couple of weeks off with the movie Munchies to actually get it synced up with when I'm going to be off for the watch alongs, because I already have some watch alongs scheduled for this next weekend and I don't want to cancel them. So I will start the alternating schedule after next week's watch alongs. Um, but the next time I do a movie Munchies, I decided, I came up with the creation of mine. Me and Steve had canned cinnamon rolls this morning, and I am a big proponent of homemade stuff. Anytime I can do it homemade and feel like it, that's always the best. So I'm going to be making Norma Bates homemade cinnamon rolls. So, and I'm going to be using probably a combination recipe, the homemade recipe that my mom always used to do, and a recipe that I use or had used in the past. So I must be driving Steve crazy because I think he's going to vacate. Uh, but the good news is we've almost got this ground chuck browned. Uh, it's one, yeah, cinnamon rolls is one of my favorite food groups too, Blissful. Yeah, you're right, Blissful, that they do sell Arby's at Walmart in the frozen food section. We got a few red pieces in this ground chuck that we're gonna get all. I like to get it things all nice and evenly browned, and get the vegetables all cooked in. And like the thing about cooking the peppers and the onions with the ground beef is the ground beef takes on the flavor of both of those things, and the vegetables take on the flavor of the ground beef. So it just, I feel like it just really helps the flavor overall of whatever you're making. So we're going to be ready to get this other stuff mixed up here momentarily. And I'm going to take the inner liner back out of the Instant Pot and go set it back over here on the sink so that I can, and forgive my stained pot holders there. They've been lovingly used a lot. I really need to wash them. I'm going to set this inner liner on that pot holder here in just a little bit so that y'all can see me put the other stuff in there. I think we're mainly going to be dumping all the cans of stuff and seasonings and all of that into the pot. And you know, I'm telling you guys and gals, if you can afford an Instant Pot and you don't have one already, an Instant Pot will fast become your best friend in the kitchen. I love mine. And mom, actually, this is not my first Instapot. This is my second one. My mom actually got me this one for Christmas because she knew that I wanted a decorative Pioneer Woman one. And again, Ree Drummond, Pioneer Woman, does not sponsor my videos, although I wish she would. You know, I use a lot of her cookware in my streams now. Leslie, you say your kitchen definitely needs an appliance upgrade? Well, as much stuff as I've bought, I feel like mine does too. I'm in a constant state of upgrading my kitchen. It drives Steve crazy. We just about got this done. Yes, I definitely agree. The Pioneer Woman has the prettiest line of bakeware, cookware, utensils, tablecloths, pot holders, whatever you want. All right. So I'm going to turn this off of the sauteing because we got our, and you will see when I transfer this over. Hopefully this won't fog up the camera too much. Okay. So as you can see, I'm going to leave that right there because we're going to put this stuff back in there. So what are we going to need to do now? Okay. So let's make sure that we're going to be putting all of our stuff in here, right? So we're going to put our tomatoes, we've already done the bell pepper and the onion. We cooked it with our ground beef, right? So we're going to put the tomatoes, the chili powder, the cumin, the ground mustard, the Cajun seasoning, the white pepper, cayenne, agave, and salt into the Instapot. Then they say use a potato masher to break up the tomatoes. I don't think we're going to have to break these tomatoes up because these aren't stewed tomatoes. These are already diced tomatoes. But if you do end up choosing the stewed tomatoes, you might want to take that route. Then we're going to add our beans and corn. We're going to stir everything, and then we're going to cook it in the Instant Pot, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and let's first of all put all our stewed tomatoes in here. Or in my case, fire roasted. I'm sorry that thing keeps pausing. I don't know if it's related to a wireless or what. Uh, I was hoping it wouldn't do that. Let's give that a little mix there. My last video looked horrible, and I'm not sure what was going on that day. But that was a bad day anyway. That was the day my parakeet Dario died. So it was just a bad day all around. This other can of tomatoes. And as I put each ingredient in there, I just like to give it a good stir, get everything mixed together. That's already looking good, I think. Now, it doesn't say about the rotel, but it says tomatoes. So this is definitely tomatoes and green chilies, right? Mix that in there. All right. So we're going to also put our chili powder. So again, we need 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I'm gonna go ahead, get this in there. Spread that out on there. And again, I try to clean up as I go along, something that my mom taught me to make your life a lot easier, right? So we're going to put a teaspoon of ground cumin in there. I love spices. I'm a big spice person. Else. Um, we're going to also need a half a teaspoon of ground mustard. It's okay if you get a little more, you know. Probably wouldn't be a good idea to have like a big old dollop of it in there, but you know. All right. So we also need 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning. You may hear my Instapot going down there. It's making that popping sound. You hear that? All right. And we also need a teaspoon of white pepper. Yeah, a teaspoon of white pepper. Just making sure I'm not leaving anything out there. And we also need a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Little heat never hurt anybody, did it? I've seen how long you even need a little bit of dropsy today. And we need 3 tablespoons of our agave syrup. I think this is probably a lot like caramel coloring for things, right? It might be thinking, hey, put syrup in there. Trust me though, folks, I've used it in some of these other recipes and it doesn't hurt them at all. And put this up here. And we're also going to put 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. And we're going to put our corn and our beans. All right. And there's syrup on there. We'll wipe that off. Don't worry. All right. So let's give that a good mix real quick here. Get that all mixed up in there really good. And then we're going to add the beans and corn. We're going to add our black beans. Mix up in there real good. We're going to put our kidney beans in here. Again, I'm using dark red ones because I think for these hard recipes, it just looks really good. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. Get that stirred up real good in there. Now we're going to put our whole kernel corn in there. It's going to make a pretty good amount, I think. That mixed up in there real good. All right. Okay. We got that mixed up real good. Hey, Candace. Sorry I missed you while I was mixing that. Blizzle, you say that the Pioneer Woman even has embroidery transfers for hand embroidery? That's cool. Hey, Candace, you say, hey, Dana, tuning in late. That's looking delicious already. Yeah, this is the first time making chili con carne, so I'm really looking forward to this. Blizzle, you say, I knew I'd get hungry, but wow, that looks delicious, doesn't it? I mean, it really, really looks good. Very colorful. Oh, that's okay, Chris. If you got phone calls you got to take, you got phone calls. So what we're going to do is I'm going to carry this back over to my Instapot here. Again, if you can afford an Instapot will be your best friend in the kitchen. Save you a lot of time. Okay, so we are going to cook on the bean and chili setting. So I'm going to set my Instapot to sealing. And then I'm going to put it on the bean and chili setting for 20 minutes on high pressure. Okay. Let's see. Let's bring that back down to 20 minutes here. And hopefully we won't have any burn issues because anybody that has used an Instapot for any amount of time, you will understand that. And I'm sorry, my hair is just so crazy today. It's clean, but it's crazy. You will know that sometimes, depending on what you're trying to cook in here, it may tell you burn on there. And if it does that to me, of course, I will have to unseal it and start things around and deglaze the bottom of the inner liner and try again. I mean, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But it can especially happen with thicker types of things like chilies or chili con carne. But I am not going to make you guys stay on here for the duration of the 20 minutes that this is going to take to cook because, kind of like an oven, the Instapot has to preheat. then it will start the countdown to 20 minutes. And so I'm going to say I'm going to be away for a little over 20 minutes. But if you want to hang around, I'm going to have the schedule playing, so you can see what's coming up the coming week. Okay. And I am just going to take myself out of the stream. And if you want to go away and, play a game or, watch a little bit of a television show or something like that while we're cooking the chili, that is fine. You can be back in about 20 to 30 minutes. So I will be back at around that time too. And I'll see you then. All right, gang, I am back. And let me add the can't talk today. Haunted food cam back. Um, you may be able to see a little bit of that um, lovely chili con carne there at the corner of, and that thing's once again freezing up. But I was kind of moving things around so that you guys and gals could see um, part of my bowl, my skull bowl there. Now, I am going to let this cool slightly, and I'll try to keep you guys and gals entertained as as I'm allowing it to cool. Now, here's the reason why I'm doing this is because this is a new bowl that I bought, and I don't want to put anything just scalding hot in it and have it crack and run all over the place here on camera. I would like to avoid that as much as I possibly can. To not have snafus here on Movie Munchies. Okay, so because I don't know, how well this thing has been sealed and all that. I hadn't had a chance to try it out. I just washed it out and got it prepared for me to actually put some food in. Now, there are some people that are of the opinion that if it is not a shiny ceramic bowl, that it's not safe to eat out of. And some of you may call me out on that. You may tell me, Dana, that's dangerous to eat out of it. You're going to make yourself sick. Now, guys and gals, I'm not going to be eating out of this thing every day for the next 10 or 20 years. I thank you, Blissful, for saying you love the bow. And, I'm not going to say that I might not get sick off of this, but um, there were some people that said they ate out of it. There were some people that refused. I looked at reviews on Amazon before I purchased this. The majority of the reviews were fine for it. That they put things in it, they ate out of it, they ate their cereal or they ate soup or whatever. Um, now, one guy did say that his cracked. He heard a loud crack as soon as he put something hot in it, which me being on the safe side, I am letting this chili con carne cool slightly before I actually put it in the bowl. Because what I think has happened is this bowl is not glazed, as they call it. Yeah, they would be good to put plants in, although I don't think they're going to drain good. So if you have a plant that the water's got to drain out of it, I wouldn't recommend using this one for that, but maybe a cactus or something like that would be cool to put in it. Um, but there were other people that said this bow is made out of a resin material, and sorry if it looks kind of funky now. Well, the little wireless thing went. We've been having some issues with our wireless, so everything we use on wireless. I mean, the hardwired stuff is fine. But we've been having a little bit of a snafu with our wireless stuff lately. So any of the wireless devices, the quality of this stream and video may get a little funky. Yeah, definitely a cactus. I would say a cactus would be a great thing to put in something like that. Um, but um, but let's see. Let me backtrack a little bit. Some people say because this is appears to be a resin bowl. It's not ceramic, it's not been glazed, nothing like that. That they claim, I don't know how, I guess I'll find out when I put this chili con carne in it, won't I? That they say that you're going to get fumes coming out of the bowl if you put something hot in it. Okay. Um, hey, Ashy. You say, so Necronomicon chili sounds good. Yeah, I mean, It smells good. It definitely smells good. So I don't know, Blissful, I don't know how much you know about bowls or anything like that, but I just didn't want anybody getting upset with me thinking, oh, you're doing a dangerous thing, Dana. You're putting hot stuff in an unfinished or unglazed bowl. Um, Blissful, you say you used matte glazes before? Okay, and Blissful's still here with us. She's still here to tell the tale. It was just really people saying they uh, refuse to eat anything out of this bowl. They said that they would maybe put some candy that was in a wrapper or something like that. But so I'm going to take a chance with this, and hopefully it won't break. Hopefully no toxic fumes are going to come out or anything like that. Um, I was just trying to find a skull bowl that was affordable and that I could use for this. You say it's safe, Blissful. Okay. Well, I don't know. People get their panties in a bunch over a lot of things, and I'm not trying to upset anybody in here that may be thinking I'm doing something unsafe. I'm not encouraging you to go out and buy this bowl from Amazon and use it for chili. I'm just or soup or chili con carne. I'm just saying that's what I'm using. Um, look, and actually, let me. Ooh, that's still hot. You can probably see me jerk my hand away there. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit more. I don't want it to be cold, but I don't want it to be scalding hot. And safety first, guys and gals. Don't do what I just did and fill the liner for the Instapot with your bare hands. Or you might, I didn't get burned. It didn't feel too good. Um, but anyway, just talking about different things so people don't think I'm, encouraging people to do things that would be unsafe. Um, yeah, well, so you say you made a set of skull mugs and used matte glaze and no one killed over. All right, well, I trust you. Blissful's never steered me wrong. So um, here in the next few minutes, we will take a chance and we will dip some of this chili con carne into the skull bowl. And I'm actually going to taste it on camera so that hopefully I won't keel over and die in front of you. And then we will all see that this bowl, I guess, is relatively safe. Unless it breaks in my hand and we don't want that. But hopefully if I let this cool enough, we won't have that happen. But it does smell really good. I can smell those peppers and the meat and everything. Now, I will tell you, remember before I went away, I said that you may run into an issue with an Instapot that says food burn. I did. And I think it's because I was using meat. Okay. And this recipe originally does not call for meat because it's a vegan recipe. Okay. But me being the meat eater I am, I wanted to put, you know, some ground beef, ground chuck in there. So halfway through the pressure rising, it said food burn and it beeped at me. So I let the pressure off, took the top off, scraped the bottom of the liner with one of my little utensils, wooden utensils, Pioneer Woman. Again, she does not sponsor my streams and my videos. And then I set it back to cook again, and it did just fine. So, but just wanted to let you guys and gals know that in case you would try to make this recipe and you would run into that issue. Okay. So I think I'm going to give this about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to take a chance and put some of this in our lovely skull bowl here, and I'm going to actually try it out. And Steve says he wants to try a little bit of it as well. And we're also just a reminder. Um, I'm going to be putting some sour cream, a little bit of sour cream on mine, and a little bit of that totally 80s cheese sauce. And I'm going to have to put it in the microwave for a little bit to get it melted nice and gooey to put on the chili con carne. And then I'm going to show y'all the whole enchilada, the whole. You're saying, dang, you're not making enchiladas. No, but I'm going to show you the whole thing. Sorry, guys and gals, trying to make a joke, but that was bad. But I have a display set up. I forgot about my little metal rustic looking sign for Evil Dead 2. And you will be able to see all of that when I take the phone off of the arm over here so you can see the full display. But that'll be in about 5 minutes from now, uh, about 4:44, 4:45. So I just want to remind everybody too that the watch along for tonight is E.T., the lovable little alien movie, unless you ask my cousin Heather and she'll tell you otherwise. And I surely hope she has not seen my thumbnail for the watch along tonight, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and directed by Mr. Steven Spielberg. Um, so, Chris, if you're in here, and Candace too, if y'all want to join in, don't let me forget to send y'all the link for that tonight. I've got everything all set up and ready to go. Um, we will not be watching that edited, the altered version. Hopefully, we're not going to be watching the altered version where they replaced the cops' guns with radios and stuff like that. We want to watch it the way it originally came out, right? So that is my plan tonight to watch it the way it came out originally in theaters. So, we all saw that as kids growing up, didn't we? That it didn't harm us. So, you know, uh, I'm sorry that the powers that be maybe made Steven Spielberg feel like he had to go back and edit his own film. Uh, just kind of stirring us a little bit, let some of that steam out. So, I see somebody sent me a message. I will be checking all messages a little bit later, um, in case you guys and gals have sent stuff to me. Now, you can put corn chips in this. You can put tortilla chips in it. You can have green onions on top of it. Steve would probably like that. Or you could have more chopped red onions. Just don't forget your tissues because them things make me cry. Uh, Red onions do that more so than any other kind of onion that I have used. They're just very, very strong. But a couple more minutes and we'll scoop some of this out, get some. Uh, in fact, I'm going to go ahead while we're waiting for this to cool a little bit more. And I am going to put my Totally 80s cheese sauce in the microwave for a little bit because it's already gotten, you know, not solid, uh, but certainly a little more where you can't drizzle it, right? So, and I will tell you that cheese sauce is very good and a little spicy, which I like. I like a little spice in my life, don't you guys and gals? And so, out of here in another minute, 45 seconds or so, we're going to dip some of this stuff out here. Y'all pray that it doesn't break my skull bow and run all over the place, right? I'm going to heat this cheese sauce up a little bit more. Maybe another 30 seconds or so. This stuff will get more liquidy. Blitz, what do you say? Mild spice, I'm a wimp. That's okay. You know, everybody doesn't have to have real spicy stuff. All right. So here we go, gang. I'm gonna take my ladle. I'm gonna kind of want this to be a little thick, right? If you hear a big crack, then we'll know that it's not a good thing to use this bowl for this, right? Get a little liquid in there. Try not to be too messy, gang. But I am a messy person. Right? Haven't heard any cracks yet. I'll keep praying. Swipe off part of our bowl there. And we're gonna stick our skull spoon in there just for a little good measure. Sorry if you hear Zoe's out. I'm gonna heat this up a little bit higher power. Darcy. Anytime neighbors come around or somebody's walking their dog or whatever, these dogs get a little crazier. So hopefully y'all can see that in the head of my skull bowl. Uh, it is a head, isn't it? Goodness gracious. I don't know what's going on there. I forgot Sammy was out there too, so he gets a little crazy. Uh, so all seems well with the bowl so far. Uh, hey Candace, you said it looks amazing, Dana. I've been watching, just didn't have my phone. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying this out too. So I'm sorry for the dogs barking. I don't know if somebody's walking their dog past our house or what is going on here. Let me check on this cheese sauce. I think that's, I can't have one of these streams without these dogs, acting crazy at some point in time. They've lived here long enough that they should be used to people walking by now, but, I'm just going to mix up this cheese sauce a little bit here. And I'm going to drizzle some on my chili con carne. Hey, Chris, you said you had to leave again for a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. In fact, it's probably more relaxed to have people come and go when I'm doing these things. So I'm trying to get this because I don't want to touch it because I know that cheese sauce is hot. Okay. So let's put a little bit more cheese sauce in there. Uh, Chris, that's a good way to look at it. That at this point, they're just characters on my show. Yeah, they distract me whenever I'm doing stuff. That's the only thing. So with the constant barking, it's just a little distracting. Okay. Now, whoops. We'll put a little sour cream on here. I know some people probably don't like to double dip with their spoon when they use it in one thing. They don't want to use it in another food product. But my house, my rules, right? So, all right. So now, so y'all can see everything, I'm going to very carefully, hope nobody gets dizzy there. We're going to show you the complete look of this, complete with my Evil Dead. Oops. Okay. Complete with my Evil Dead sign there in the background. So let's push our spoon down in there a little bit. Yeah. I just want, I bought this stuff, so I wanted to show it all. So anyway, let's let's make this a solo layout real quick, just so you guys and gals can see that really, really well right there. So you can also just don't pay attention to my messy kitchen. But there is the final display of the skull bowl with the Chili Necronomicon Carne, the Evil Dead 2 sign in the background. I love that artwork, by the way. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to taste this. I'm going to make sure that I don't burn myself picking this up. Okay. So, ready, gang? There's my skull bowl. Ready? Let's get a big scoop of this. Oh, it is good. Sorry for the stringy cheese there. It's actually. Oh, man. Yeah. This one's a keeper, gang. This recipe is a keeper. You heard it here from the Evil Dead chick. And let's see. Oh, Blissful, that is fantastic. I can't wait. You'll have to let me know, when that happens about adopting a small dog. They want to taste test. Blissful, probably do. Chris, you say you know all about distractions, huh? Blissful, thank you. You said that looks spooky delicious. And Chris, I will send you the link for the ET watch along. Blissful, you say your mom really wants a dog. Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought maybe you guys will get a dog soon, um, but I wasn't 100% sure. Now I'm leaning more towards that 100%. um, let's see. And I can't remember if I read Candace's comment up here. She said, they really are, Chris. We're so used to hearing dogs, it just blends in. Candace, you say drool. Oh, geez, Dana. I'd scarf through a bowl of that with saltine crackers like nothing. Looks so good. I just ate, but you're making me jealous. I love homemade chili. And Blissel says, Candace, I'm drooling. So, again, I guess that's all for me for now. I want to thank everybody for joining me for yet another movie Munchies. And remember to be kind to one another and blaze that trail, folks. And I'm out of here for now. I will see, hopefully, a lot of you, if not all of you, later at the ET Watch Along at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye for now, everybody.